Imagine two pots, one earthen pot and one brass pot. Water is to be served from these two pots, where water from the earthen pot will only be consumed by people belonging to a higher caste. Water from the brass pot will only be consumed by people belonging to a lower caste. You don't see this kind of difference in anywhere but in a country where tradition and culture are so diverse, where thousand plus languages are spoken around the nation, and where festivals like Eid to Lori and Pongal to Dussehra are all celebrated. India. Namaste, everyone. My name is Avneet, and I have been living in China from the past 10 years. Not having lived in India long enough to understand what the caste system really meant, I became interested in this topic when the news media started to highlight the different castes. From there, I learned that Hindus are divided into rigid hierarchical groups. This is based on their karma and dharma. While karma are the good and the bad deeds that one commits, dharma is one's life duty. The hierarchy is as follows, with Brahmins at the top, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. As you can see from the diagram behind me, the Dalits are separated from this caste hierarchy, and they are often referred to as the untouchables. Coming back to the example from the beginning, where does the water in those two pots come from? It's very likely that a water bearer carried the water from the source to the people. Not to mention, but the water bearer will most likely also belong to a lower caste. Wait, if he or she is of a lower caste, how does the upper caste drink that water? Isn't that untouchable and impure? That's the twist. In the Manusmriti, the water bearers are an exception. When I first researched about the caste system in India, there was a clear question raising inside my mind, and I'm pretty sure you're wondering the same too. What exactly does untouchability mean? With roots tangled deep into the cultural and historical aspects, untouchability has been traditionalized well before the 100 BC. It states that a person was born into this caste because of their deeds from their previous lives. By keeping this practice with us in modern lives, we hear many stories of rape, violence, oppression, and in extreme cases, even death. These are the kind of stories I first read about when I researched the caste system myself. And today I want to share one of those stories that I read on one of the platforms, The Conversation. There once was a lady named Sima, and she used to sell samosas as a local street food vendor. Her customers used to enjoy the snack until one day they found that she was so called polluting the environment. Was she any different from the people around her? Did she look differently? To both these questions, the answer is no. It was only that she was a Dalit and considered an untouchable. We know that in India, more than 200 million people are considered as Dalits, and violence and oppression is simply not the reason to ignore them. They are humans too, and most importantly, have the same rights as anyone else. I don't know if any one of you sitting here today can relate to the caste system or not, but I still want you to think of this one question. Should we continue to address people as untouchables even after the government itself has abolished this law? I'm no one to decide that, but I do have an opinion that I would like to share. I believe that the government can do more than simply abolishing this practice because that will not help change 1.4 billion people's mindset. Instead, educational programs can be offered to students starting from a young age where they can learn about the different castes and be more open minded and embrace the differences in their communities. Though a long term solution, but I feel that this is a step that the government can and should take to stop the violence and hate towards the Dalits. I'm here today because I hope that one day a 9-year-old child from the Dalit caste wouldn't be so brutally beaten to death by his own teacher from drinking from a pot of water that was only meant for the higher castes. Mind you, that this was one day before India's 75th independence, a proud day for all Indians. As Guru Nanak once said, I'm neither a child, a young man, nor an ancient, nor am of any caste. Thank you.